Hello and welcome to Mondays with Maria Gould. Today is Monday, January the 12th, 2026, and already we are almost halfway through January. So I thought I would re-inspire myself and then share my inspiration with all of you. Today's podcast is staying focused on goals. Now, I don't know if it was that Creator needed to show this to me and myself so that I could help you, but did you do a manifestation list on December 31st or January 1st? Did you write down some goals? Maybe they were financial goals, maybe they were for your health. Maybe you wanted to eat better, exercise. Maybe you wanted to travel. Whatever you wrote down for your goals, and hopefully you do have some goals in mind. There's a great quote that says, "A ship that never has a destination never goes anywhere." And I forget who the quote is by, and I might not have said it exactly right, but that's it. If we don't steer our ship in the direction we want it to go, it'll just wander. It'll wander through life, and we don't want to look back on our life and go, gosh, I could have written that book. I could have helped so many more people. Why didn't I do that? We don't want regrets. So your goals are because you want to make changes in your world. You want to move your life in the direction and steer your ship. So maybe you made goals about money. Now, I want to talk for a second. Number one, why do we make our goals? Well, just like that quote, we want to have direction in our life. We want to feel like we're moving our life in the direction we want it to go, rather than feeling like a victim to the world around us. So everything that we achieve in life, whether it's going out and getting a job, and that's our goal, well, we first of all have to create a resume, and then we have to get dressed up or apply online and get these resumes into people's hands. Then we have to go on interviews, and then, right? So there is a process to everything we want to accomplish. Now, why did you put your goals down? Now, I know for myself, a lot of my goals having to do with paying off more debt, saving more money, adding a few tweaks to my health regimen, taking some classes, doing a bit of traveling. All of these goals are sometimes done when we reflect back through our world, through our last year, and we go, oh, life got so busy I didn't take that holiday. So I'm going to do that this year. So in hindsight, we look back and go, I wanted to do that, but I didn't plan for it. And what we don't plan for never happens. So we reassess and we go, what do I want to do this year coming up? Right? So maybe we had a little bit of stress about money, so we want to take more control over that. Maybe we feel uncomfortable in our body. Maybe we're tired. Maybe we want more energy. So we know that we have to take better care of our body, eat better, exercise more, right? Whatever is your why, a lot of times it's because you didn't like what you did the last time, right? Whether that's last year or there's a little bit of underlying, regrets, right? A little bit of that underlying regret energy. So what if we could turn our why and why we're doing these goals into a positive? And this was a big realization for me on how it's helping me stay focused on my goals. And now, when we change our why into a positive, how do we do that? Well, first of all, let's break off a little bit of this. Say you're looking at health and you want to eat more vegetables in a day, you want to drink more water. You want some tangible goals, right? And you know that these tangible goals over time, over the year, will lead to better results. You'll probably feel better, your digestion will be better, you will feel lighter and healthier, you'll have more minerals and nutrition in your body, you'll feel less sluggish and less headaches if you have the right amount of water in your body. So the why that I'm doing these things is to improve my health. So what would that look like? Now, I wrote down more tangible goals, right? Weight loss at a certain pace and different things like that. Tangible, reasonable goals while still enjoying life, right? So I envision what that will look like and feel like in the future. What will it look like and feel like if health goals were something on your list? What do you want to feel like? Do you want to feel 10 or 20 pounds slimmer? Do you want to feel stronger? Do you want to feel more energized? What will that look like? What will that feel like in your future? Now, when we are taking care of our physical health, this literally will give us more energy for all of the other things in our life. If you have a lot of goals on your list, if you're not taking care of the body, the vessel that carries that beautiful light from Creator, you're actually going to have less energy, less motivation. It's a lot harder to stay positive if we physically don't feel well. So I always find the first pillar to work on and focus on is our physical health. Now, I noticed it's already almost halfway through the month, and one of my goals was to add some strength training into my regime. I do walk daily with my dogs, but I wanted to add more strength training in. So I noticed as I was looking through my list again, keeping it fresh in my mind, oh yes, I made that promise to myself and I haven't started yet. Now, rather than get hard on myself and shame myself and beat up on myself, I go, oh yes, right. And then I'm going to start. I pulled out some DVDs I used to do for strength training, and I'm dusting those off. Those are right by my VCR. Yes, I still have that old VCR technology. I like it. So tomorrow morning, I've already planned it in my mind, in my schedule, that I will be up, and the very first thing I will do is that 30-minute exercise routine. Now, I have done this in the past, so if you've never done something like that, you want to start slow, go gradual, right? And I want to really, for me, the biggest thing to keep me motivated is literally just do it. That's my goal. So I get up and I just do it. There's going to come up all of these feelings of I don't want to do it. I want to stay in bed. Oh my gosh, how about I just have a cup of coffee and relax and play on my phone? But I've done this in the past, and when I listen to that procrastinator voice saying that I would do it later, saying that I'll do it tomorrow, that is breaking a promise to yourself. And it's so easy to slide off track. So there's that ship going off course from its destination again. Each meal matters. Each bite matters. Each workout matters. Okay? Now, tomorrow is my start date. And then I am going to do the next day and then take a day off. And doing it reasonably, right? I'm going to pace myself, do the best that I can, but stay in that frame of mind. Just get up and do it, right? When we decide to do something, if you tell a friend that you are going to show up and have coffee with them, do you show up and have coffee with them? I hope you do. I hope you keep your promises to your friends. If they need you, do you show up for them and help them when they need you? Well, we need to do that same practice with ourselves. When you write goals, each day we need to just do those goals. Right? No excuses. Now, that doesn't mean you can't take a day off. That doesn't mean that, like, maybe I have to start and teach a class at 6 a.m. because I'm teaching in another country and that's the time that works for them, and I don't choose to get up at 4 and do my exercise. Then I'm going to reschedule it so that I am doing it right after the class. So I can adapt. But if you fall off, if something happens, if the children are sick and you need to take care of them, that's okay. Life happens. But as soon as that's completed, you're going to just not start over. Not start over. You're actually resuming. That's huge. Right? So it has been a long time for me, probably about, I have to say, probably at least 3 years where I kind of slid on the strength training component of my daily routine. And I'm not calling it starting over, even though in my brain, I know I'm starting over, right? I'm not going to have the same strength level. I'm not going to have the same endurance that I did 3 years ago. But I am calling it resuming rather than starting over, because I want my brain to feel successful. I want to feel encouraged, that it's easier to resume something than it is to start over. Okay, so again, it is a mental shift that helps you stay focused. Okay? Now, if you have never done anything like this and you are truly starting, really watch the thoughts. The thoughts will tell you it's hard because we're in our comfort zone, right? Our routine is our comfort zone. Even if we complain about it, it's comfortable. Even if we don't like it and we're miserable, it's comfortable because we know it. And it just takes that energy and that dedication of just do it, just decide and do. Just decide and do. Don't think about it, because if you think about it, you're going to talk yourself out of it. Okay? So what is your goals? What have you written down? Are you looking at saving money? Have you made a specific, reasonable goal to save money? Is it 5% of your paycheck goes into savings, and then 5% pays extra on bills? credit cards, things to get you out of debt. Whatever it is, whatever your strategy is, all you need to do is decide and do. And deciding and doing consistently. Put notifications in your phone. If saving money is something important to you, or paying off debt, pick up a strategy. I also do coaching calls about this that have really turned my life around in the last 7 years. Right? I used to live in debt. I used to worry about making my minimum payment. And I had so many payments. It looked on the outside like we had lots of things, but I had so many payments. I was so stressed to not have enough money to pay those minimum things. And I got so tired one time of feeling so stressed about money that I took a hold of it and I said, okay, my main stress is all of these bills, all of these different payments. So I made a vow within that year, I would get rid of at least 3 major payments. And this was payments on furniture I had bought, on a vehicle that was, the lease was almost up, or sorry, the payment was almost finished. So I figured out a way to save money and squirrel money away to pay it off faster. So my goal was just 3 major payments paid off. But when I focused on that and when I gave myself that focus and that challenge, I actually paid off 5. I got rid of 5 payments. And then my brain was like, wow, I have way more lucrative money. And we were living as a family. Our son was very, very young. He was only 2. I was taking a lot of theta healing classes. So I wanted to have money to do that, but I also wanted a house. I was dreaming of a house to be able to teach my theta healing classes in. So I knew that I needed to save for a down payment and get us financially in a place where our credit score was going up, we weren't making minimum payments, and we were a good risk to the bank. So that was my focus that year. I refocused and again paid off more debts, had more money as a down payment. And then when we were looking for houses, it fell into place so amazingly, like magic and quickly, that it was aligned. And we sold the trailer we were living in, and within a month later, we were in our dream house. Way bigger than I could have ever imagined. When we had been shopping for homes for about 2 years, we thought our budget was under, now, okay, let me say this was about 15 years ago, so the housing market was a lot lower then, but we thought our market for our mortgage would be about $280,000. But we actually were able to afford a $310,000 house because I had rearranged and paid off so much debt, the bank was willing to make a bigger mortgage for us. Okay, so all of these things, now it's my goal now to really pay off that mortgage as fast as possible. And we're more than a third away from that. So very exciting. Anyways, what is your why? And when you look at the future and what do you want in the future, that should be your fuel. So do you want a healthier body, a slimmer body, a stronger body? Do you want to be able to run a 5K in May? What's your goals? What's the future look like? That's your why. Right? Focus on your why. Choose or decide and do. Decide and do. That is huge. That has been literally my mantra for years. Decide, write it down. Those are your goals. And do that. Meet that goal. So if your small goal is just to save 5% of everything you make and put it into savings and put 5% on debt and try not to keep adding to the debt, right? That's a very amazing way. What are you going to do with that 5% of savings? Is that savings for a trip for your family? Is that savings for an amazing new car, right? What is it that your goal will give you in the future? When we look at our goals like that, it's easier to stay motivated. That was my reshift that I had to have this week so I could share it with you. So decide and do. Each and every time, if your goal is to save that amount of money, every time you have money come into your account, you need to go back, do the calculations, and separate that money out of your checking account. Put it into your tax-free savings. Take it out of the bank. Put it somewhere safe as cash. I like cash. It actually helps you feel affluent, right? Make sure you have a safe place to put it. So, and then the third point, right? Decide and do is the second point. Remember your why and why you're doing it and what you want for your future is the first one. And step 3 to staying focused on your goals is really, don't think of it as always starting over. Think of it as resuming. Because when life happens, and life does happen for all of us, you're not going to beat up on yourself. You're just going to resume the very next day. You're going to not listen to that little voice inside of you that says, oh, I blew it with this meal, right? I ate 5 brownies, whatever it is. You're not going to keep listening to the thoughts of, oh, I blew the whole day because I did that. No, you're going to resume the next piece of food you put into your mouth. Not in judgment, not beating up on yourself with shame. You're going to go, why did I do that? What was going on? You're going to take a look at that, be loving and compassionate with yourself, and you're going to resume the next time you eat. If you didn't exercise for a few days, life got busy, you're going to go, oh, okay. Whew, deep breath. I would like to make this a priority. I can do 10 minutes, maybe rather than 30. Cool. 10 minutes is better than no minutes, right? So maybe you need to scale back for a bit. Decide and do. Resume, right? Don't shame yourself. You don't need to start over. You want to resume just the next time. This is the approach. Let's do it. And then pretty soon, maybe those 10 minutes are a little bit easier to not push the snooze so many times, and you get up a little earlier. And you realize it gives you energy and helps you feel happier the rest of the day. Look at all the positive things that are coming when you are achieving your goals. So remember, I love you, and you're amazing, and you are made to do hard things, right? It is easy for all of us to stay in our comfort zone. It is easy for us to be lazy and order in and all of those things. But doing that once in a while is one thing. But when we listen to those sabotaging thoughts and do it a little more than we need to, again, come back, ask yourself really what you need. Do you need a day off? Could you schedule that in? Do you need some downtime? Come back to yourself, not with anger, not with shame or regret, but just what is your body needing? Give it what it needs. It's talking to you. So remember this, that it's up to you to steer your ship. Decide where you want your ship, your life, your health, your body, your finances, your life, where you want it to go. And do it. Little baby steps, day by day by day. And a year you will look back and go, wow, look at what I did. And if we fall off track, the next moment that we realize that is the opportunity to resume it. Get back on the wagon. Loving your future and what you're creating now that will show up in your future, whether it's that healthier, stronger, more energetic body, whether it's more financial freedom, whether it's a more tight-knit family unit because you just came back from a holiday, that future goal, keep that in mind. Because then, on those hard days, when we fall off track, when no one's watching, that idea that we want for our future will re-energize you. It'll motivate you. Now, if you would like help getting focused, getting inspired, getting centered, having some tasks to move your boat in the direction you want, I am happy to help you with that through Theta Healing, through coaching. You can always reach out to me through my website, mariagould.com, and book a session. I would love to help motivate you and inspire you to take your ship, your life, where you want it to go. All right, blessings for a beautiful Monday, and we will talk to you next week.